You know, I normally live in the land of crochet, but today I am branching out. Not a lot, just a little. It's with a leather project that completely complements a handmade wardrobe, like all the crochet projects I've been making. This video is sponsored by Babylon Leather. They make DIY leather bag kits that are perfect for beginners like me. I have crocheted bags, I have sewn bags, but this was my first time working with leather, and I think I picked out probably one of the cutest ones on the website. I absolutely love it. To be honest, I wouldn't have taken this video on if I didn't think I would enjoy the project, but I was actually surprised how much fun I had doing it. And then I got to actually style them with my crochet projects. I had a blast with this project. I'm excited to share it with you. Real quick, let me tell you about the sponsor before we get on to the rest of the video. So each kit comes with everything you need included. It's got pre-cut leather pieces, it's got the hardware you need, it's got a strap, thread, it's got needles, and it's even got tools like scissors. You don't need to buy anything extra when you want to make this bag, and they use top grain and full grain cowhide leather, so the finished project feels really luxurious. I would have had no idea what tools and supplies I would have needed for making a bag project on my own if I would have went to the craft store and just started picking stuff out. So I was very thankful that what I needed was in there. And when it comes to crocheting bags, I've picked up bag straps off of Amazon. I've also looked at like thrift stores to find lonely bag straps. I've looked at garage sales for bags that I can take the straps off of, but everything was already in here. But probably the best feature of the Babylon leather bag kits is that they're extremely precise. All of the pinholes are already in all of the parts that need to be sewn together. So I know with my ADHD, like that would have been the biggest obstacle in me creating something like this on my own. I would not have had the patience. I would have like eyeballed a lot of it, and it would have then created problems later on when I was going to sew it together. I just know myself. So the process was smooth, and I think that's so important too when you're looking at, you know, being able to sew like 3, 4, 5 layers of fabric and leather together. You want them to be perfect, and they were. I didn't even need to like take my needle and enlarge any of the holes at all. They were all the perfect size. Now, if you ever get stuck, there's always a tutorial on YouTube that goes along with the bag you're making. The tutorial for this bag was actually one of their two-tone color ones, so it helped me a little bit more because with mine, you know, being all the same color, it would have been a little easier, I think, to get confused watching the tutorial, but you could really see the difference in how this bag was woven since they used a two-tone one. I just watched the video completely. It was about a half an hour long before I even started my project, just so I'd have a good idea. And then I just kind of watched like piece by piece of the video as I periodically worked on my bag. I didn't need any other support, but they do have fast online support as well, where if you do get stuck, you can email them. So I absolutely love my finished project. I think I may have accidentally chosen one of the more complex bags on the website because it had to be woven together and then sewn up. So it did take me a little bit longer to try to figure that out and get all the pieces like measured up. But when I said that they included all of the things you need with this one, there was even a bunch of like those binder clips so that you could get, you know, all your woven pieces put together at the right height and everything so that you could sew it up easier. Like I said, I really didn't have any problems. I didn't have to search for anything else. I didn't have to modify anything else. There were plenty of extra needles. I only needed 2, and I think there was probably 6 or 8 in there. So if you lose some, you're fine. They were nice and strong to work with the leather. There was plenty of extra thread, and it was definitely a much thicker thread than I was used to working, and it almost had like, I don't know if it was like a waxy coating. I don't know. I had always wondered how the stitching on bags were done. And I finally figured out how. Do you know what the secret is? It's using 2 needles and going over. I had no idea. I have looked at bags for years and wondered how that stitching was made. So I finally got that mystery solved as well. But I felt like this bag had such a like vintage feel to it. I loved the warm colors. It does come in at least one other color option that I can remember, a blue one. But like I said, I felt like it looked like almost like a little picnic basket and just felt like it went well with a lot of the vintagey looking clothes I love and color schemes that I love. I thought this would be absolutely perfect. And I've got 3 outfits that I really, really love that I think this bag goes great with. And the first one is my summer shrug I had made. And I will link like a blog post and a video for all of these. I don't know if I have a blog post for this one or not. I'll have to look into that. I feel like sometimes we can get a little overwhelmed with crochet and different crochet pieces kind of competing against each other. And I really like when I put the hard work into making something, I kind of want it to be like the rock star of the outfit, if that makes sense. And I feel like, if you start layering 2, 3, 4 or more crochet pieces, it can be a bit overwhelming, maybe even accidentally look a little bit costumey and just not as polished. And there's just like so much competing that I did really like adding the leather to these different outfits I put together because, well, it is a beautiful bag and I think you could definitely call this a rock star piece on its own. I don't feel like it's competing, but I love the woven texture and I feel like it just kind of, I don't know, accents it. It just kind of gives off the same vibe, but doesn't overpower things. So this first outfit, I literally just threw my shrug on over a yellow dress. I think this would be great for, early summer, late summer, early fall. I think it would be great for something like this. I did make this with worsted acrylic, so it is not like the most cooling yarn in the world, but it is very breezy. There is a lot of airflow, so I can probably get by with this more seasons than not, but not a winter project. My arms would be freezing. And then the next outfit that I have, I absolutely loved it, and so many of you loved this too and made your own, and it was my 5-night fall shawl. And again, there'll be links to that. I loved that project. It was fun. It was broken down where you could work on it in about like 5 different nights, like if you just worked about 45 minutes on it, and you didn't have to do the fall themed one like I did, but Knit Picks had these fall colors like already picked out in a group together. I thought it was just wonderful, and I actually ended up buying a skein and a half of the color dill to make my matching hat. So it did take about, like I said, a skein and a half. It is fingering weight yarn. My overall impression of this yarn is that the projects feel so much softer on than they do in the skein. So while it is mostly wool, it really feels soft and enjoyable to wear. So I paired that with the dress, just a plain brown dress, and have my 5-night fall shawl and the hat on, my beanie. I do have a link to the beanie if you want to make one of those as well. And I just think that the bag works perfect for this. Again, I feel like it just goes with that vintagey vibe, doesn't overpower it, but just complements it really well. And then probably my most fun, absolute hands down favorite project I made, and a lot of you made it too, was my oversized fall shawl again, and that was Brava from Knit Picks, and it was the bundle called Hayride. It was a pretty inexpensive project to make. It is acrylic yarn, and I'll have the video and it goes into detail, like how many rows and how much yarn and all that good stuff. But I absolutely loved this project. I said I felt a little like Stevie Nicks when I got to wear this. I did try it on with like a giant oversized hat just for fun as well. And you definitely could make Either one of these in different colors. I just really like how Knit Picks pairs them together really well. So you know it's going to match and coordinate really well. But this was super duper fun. And I love how the bag looks like this. I feel a little bit like I have stepped into a time warp when I wear this. I love it so much. And on a little bit of a side note as well, not fashion related, but health related, if you watched my last video, you'll know I'm really working at putting some effort into becoming healthier and doing different things to promote my health. And it wasn't like an intentional thing I set out to do, but what has really got me thinking after working on this bag is that by not just doing the same thing over and over and over, which would be crochet for me, it might be knitting for you. By switching it up, I was using completely different muscles while working on this project than I do with crochet. And I think that's one of the big things we do need to keep in mind if we're trying to keep our hands healthy, is we need to use different muscles and tendons and all of that. And, you know, we want to stay away from repetitive motions. I think that's how you get carpal tunnel. I'm not sure, but I think it is. And so by doing this, I definitely was using a lot of different muscles. Now, I will say you do need a little bit of hand strength to do this project. I am 49. I was a hairstylist for 12 years, and I have been a secretary, like a, what do I want to say, like a receptionist, office manager for 16 years. I use my hands all of the time. I probably have some arthritis in here. So I will say I had to break this up in a little bit smaller increments than maybe you would have to if you do have strong, healthy hands. If you're younger than me, or you know, if you're my age or maybe older, or you just know you have arthritis in your hands, just know maybe schedule out smaller bursts of time to work on leather, because yeah, it is a totally different fabric. It engaged other muscles in my forearms and in my wrists and in my hands. And while I think that was great, they might have been muscles that don't get worked out as much. So I definitely felt like, ooh, I need a break at different points during this project. Keep that into consideration. I definitely think it's something that most people can do, but your time frame may vary a little bit, and certain aspects of it may take less time or more time, just depending on, you know, where your strengths are. If you've ever wanted to try something a little bit different and have been intimidated by leather, I would 100% recommend the sponsor of today's video, Babylon Leather. You can check out their kits. They are simple to start, and I really love the results. I will have a link down in the description for you. It is an affiliate link. Please don't ever feel like you have to go through any affiliate links. I just put them in there if I have them. There will be also a discount code as well that I have for you to try on a Babylon Leather DIY bag kit. So thank you for coming along on this crafty adventure, since it's a little bit different than usual. I'm super excited about how it turned out, and I will give you a little, I don't want to say a sneak peek, but a little hint at the future. I actually have another kit already here, and it is like a little mini backpack purse, and I am going to be making it to go to the Des Moines Spinners and Weavers Guild Festival. I think that's what it is. So hopefully I'll be stashing a bunch of yarn in it. We'll see. I hope you check back with me and check that video out. Thank you again for being here, talking yarn and yarn related topics with me. And thank you again, Babylon Leather, for sponsoring this. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.